So second part of this is carrying out measurements and calculations. So by the end of this session you'll be able to use formula and appropriate methods for calculating perimeter, circumference and area. Stuff you probably did back in school days but you may have forgotten these days.
Definitely forgotten.
Yep, just a quick reminder, WH&S, as we discussed earlier, exit points, assembly area in case there's a fire. Don't use any of the equipment unless I ask you to, and if there's no questions, we'll get straight into it.
How did we do in our assessment?
Can't tell you, we'll find out later.
Okay.
Okay, so calculating area. Area is basically the amount, or is the measurement. Start again, sorry. Area is the measurement of an amount of area. No, got that wrong again. My bad. Okay, calculating the area is basically a flat space on the ground, the length and the width, basically. So if we say we look at one of these tiles, and you assume that one length is a metre and the other length is a metre, so it's multiplying one length by the other length will basically give you the square area of that. And it's basically, area is usually a square figure.
So if it's 1 metre by 1 metre,
Yep.
would that make it 1 metre square, the answer?
It's 1 times 1,
Yeah.
so
2.
2.
I get so confused.
No, 1 times 1.
Yeah, that's what I said. 1
yeah,
times 1
yeah,
is 1.
Yeah, sorry.
So
Yeah.
would the answer be 1 metre squared?
Yes. So basically, we'll do it on a bigger scale. So if we say we took 3 of these tiles, so basically if it was 3 metres that way by 3 metres that way, that would equal
9 metres squared.
9 metres squared. Yep.
Right.
So you're basically multiplying the length and the width of it, but it usually needs to be square.
Did you get that first? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Once we do a few of the assessments, it'll get a little bit easier. Okay, so calculating the perimeter. So the perimeter is usually the boundary or the outside edge. In the building industry, it's basically used to refer to things like fencing, guttering, external wall lengths. So the perimeter of a rectangle or square is P equals length times length plus width times 2. So basically, we'll do this shortly. I'll get someone up to measure the lounge, and we'll work that one out. So it's basically everything needs to be in a right angle. So we might actually we might do it now. So we'll get 2 volunteers up. We'll get Jade and Jared. If you guys want to come up.
No, you can go this one.
Okay. All right. We'll get Jared and Carmel. How about you 2 come up? I'll just get you guys to just to measure the length of the lounge here.
It is 2760.
Okay, so 2760. Yep.
Someone write that down.
Someone want to? Someone just get a bit of paper and write that down.
I'll put it in my phone.
Okay. Yep.
Come on, Jared, don't drop it.
What was the measurement again?
2760 centimeters. Millimeters. Sorry.
And 2240.
Plus 2240.
Yep.
Thank you. So what would be if the lounge was a rectangular shape? What would be the perimeter of that?
10 metres.
10 metres. Okay.
So how do you get 10 metres?
You've basically measured the length of it and the width of it. So it's the length plus the width
Yeah.
times 2,
Oh, times
which
2.
will give you the full
Oh,
out.
so one.
So you've measured the 2 sides and basically doubled it up.
Oh,
Okay?
cool.
Alright, so the hardest one of the whole lot is probably calculating the circumference. So whenever a circle is drawn, no matter the size, the circumference is approximately 3.1416 times the diameter. So this is known as pi. So the formula for finding the circumference of a circle is circumference equals pi times diameter.
Oh, that sounds really hard.
So basically, if we look at it, so the circumference is the full circle on the outside, yeah. And then the diameter is basically a straight line drawn anywhere through it.
All the way through,
All the way through, yeah.
from where?
From the outside to outside.
How do you know where to start?
Well, it's a circle, so there's really no starting point. So anywhere where you draw a straight line through it, as long as it's going through the
So
centre.
that's the diameter.
Yeah, that's the diameter.
The longest measurement usually on the circle.
Right.
Yeah. And then half of that again, if you halve that again, would be the radius.
Oh, so how do we get this? Times it by 3.1416.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is pi. So basically on most calculators you actually have a pi symbol on there. Basically, if you're using your phone you probably won't, so you'll just have to do the 3.1416, which is the closest measurement to it.
There you go.
Alright,
Can you measure
so,
that?
pardon?
Can you measure that?
Yeah, we're about to do an example. So basically on your sheet of paper in front of you there's an example there. So for everyone, use your calculator or your phone to find the circumference of a grinding disc that the diameter is 50 millimetres.
Oh, there is pi on this. If you turn your thing sideways, it's down the bottom.
So how do we get this?
So, sorry, can you just repeat how do we do this?
Yep, so basically the diameter of the grinding disc is 50 millimetres. So just remember the formula to get the circumference is pi times diameter.
So would you go 50 times pi
Yep.
and then equals, so that's 157.07.
Yep.
Can you do pi, oh I think you can, times 50 equals, yep.
Yep. So
So what did you do?
Yeah, would you like to borrow mine?
Thanks.
So you can have a go.
So,
you can either way around, so either 50 times pi or pi times 50.
what was pi?
Down the bottom,
Ah.
Yep.
And get it if you turn it sideways.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Otherwise, I could do 50 times what?
50.
3.1416.
Alright, so everyone basically understand that? That's probably the harder measurements you're going to get. Yep.
Never done it.
Why would we need to know the circumference?
Occasionally you might get a designer house where they may have a round room. So if you're trying to measure for cornice or anything like that, or you're trying to, which you then have to get them made up, custom made. So you may need to get the full circumference, so to get an exact measurement, so that they make the cornice up in the right angles. Okay, so we're just going to move on to an activity. So we're going to need 3 volunteers. So we'll just do it one by one. So I might get Paris and Kimball up.
Can I go to the bathroom, please?
Yep, yeah, sure. Okay, we're using this tape measure. I'm just going to get you guys to basically try and find the area of this wall. So you need to measure the length and the width of it. Unfortunately, the laser's just run out of battery, so I'm going to have to do it old school.
Ah. I know how to do that.
Oh,
So
you
we'll
do
just
that.
round it up to make it a little bit easier, and might get you, Austin, just to do the calculation on your phone. Thanks.
4605.
Okay, so 4605.
4605 or 4650?
4605.
4605.
4605.
Well, I don't think they know how to read the thing because these guys said 4650.
Well, let's go to four six
Okay,
five
so
zero.
hang on. I think you might be measuring on the inches part, so you probably need to read off the bottom part of the tape. So, alright, so we'll go again, just trying to keep it in a straight line.
Essentially upside down.
Yep, so using the bottom part of the tape, that's in millimetres.
4650.
Okay, so that's the same one, yep. Now, which way do you think would be the best way to measure the height?
Like this.
Yep, and why would you do it that way?
Well, I can't reach otherwise.
Yep,
But if we
and
had
you wouldn't
that,
be able to get up there to
if
read
we
the
had
tape.
that laser thing,
Yep, yeah, well the laser battery's just died, so unfortunately we can't use that. So we have to go old school.
alright. So we've got 2615.
Was that to the floor or was that to the skirting?
That was to the skirting.
No, well we need to measure it to the floor.
Okay.
The sheets need to touch the floor so they can put the skirting on top.
No, great.
And this, see how it's taking you guys so long to do this? This is why you would use a laser measure. So once you've got one measurement, you're basically assuming the whole house is the same height.
Alright, so we've got 2,
70,
2680.
2680.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
What was the first one? Did you write it down? No.
Yep, now Austin's doing it.
Ah,
So the square, what were we doing? The area of that wall is.
Yeah.
yes,
Yep.
So it is 12,000. Hang on. Let me get that right. 4650 times by 2680.
70. Yeah, 2680. Yep.
Yeah. So that's.
You're probably going to drop a couple of zeros off there. Yeah.
Right by 1,000. 12,462.
But the big thing we got to look at too, what was the length of the wall again?
4.6.
4.6. Okay, sheets don't actually come in that size. So we've got to look at the next size up because we don't actually want to have any joins. So the next size up would be a 4.8 metre long sheet.
Yep.
And the width would be 2.7. So basically your measurement that you would calculate for when you're measuring the full job would actually be 4.8 by 2.7 in the height. That's what you would be quoting on. And then you would lose that off cut, would basically be your wastage.
Yep.
So you'd be measuring 4.8 metres by 2.7 metres.
you're about to lose your chopping this.
Just gives you 12.9.
So roughly 12 metres squared for that
Yeah.
one wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's basically what you're quoting on for that one wall when you're doing it.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah.
Then obviously things will change when you have a window cut out. But most of the time, most people will still measure the full wall and basically deduct the window cutouts at the end, or just allow that into their profit margin.
Yep.
But obviously you're going to have more wastage, which then your homeowner might complain, why is there so much wastage on the job?
Yep.
Alright. Okay, we might grab Sam and Austin. Just if you guys could just work out the circumference of this plate, please. A little bit harder to do. Tape measure doesn't flex as much. We'll go near enough is close enough.
1.
Just in centimetres.
Nine.
Ben, write the things down for them.
197.
So 197. So we'll just call it 200 just to make it a little bit easier.
Right. 200 times by 3.1. 416.
Did you already know that? Or do you just remember?
Everyone remembers.
628 mil.
Okay, so that's the circumference
Or we
of the plate.
Yeah.
Or you're doing it old school and you're trying to bend the plate around, which is harder to do.
Would you ever do what he's doing?
You could, but your measurement wouldn't be right. So the easy way is just to measure your circle.
okay, thank you.
All right. So lastly, might get Carmel and Paris. We'll just get you guys just to take 2 measurements and just to get the perimeter of this room, please.
I think the laser level. Is
So
it
we are-
charged yet?
Yeah, it has.
Yep, it's just charged.
I
Yep,
just put it on
fully
charge
charged.
for you.
All right. So we'll just get the length of this wall.
So just from here,
No, you'll have to get it so that it's touching the internal corner. Otherwise, you won't get a proper measurement.
so from here
Yep.
to there.
Yep. Just watch your eyes because you don't want it pointing into your eyes.
Okay, that is 4.6.
Yeah, 650. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, and then just this way.
Okay, that is 7.2.
Okay, so can someone work out that calculation for me?
Hey, that's a job for you.
Oh, what are we measuring?
7 point, the perimeter.
Oh, the room.
So
Oh, I can't remember.
4.65?
4650
4.65? Oh, yeah, that was
Yeah.
plus 7.500
No.
times 2
Austin Hero.
7.000, yeah.
Yeah. Times two.
times 2.
19,650.
Yes.
Yeah, so about 19 square metres.
No.
Or no, 19 metres roughly.
Lineal meters.
Lineal meters.
Probably.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so just in summary, today we've looked at tools for measuring on the job and calculating different areas. So has everyone pretty much understood everything we've sort of gone through? I know the hardest thing probably was doing the circumference.
It's just understanding why you would do it all, and when you were saying you've got to leave 2 mils and
Yeah,
3
it's
mils and
things you'll learn on site. Your boss will explain a few more things like that to you as you're learning your trade. So, circumference is the hardest thing, but these days a lot of houses are going back to a bit more futuristic looking round walls, so you'll need to learn about areas, volumes, all that kind of thing. So, yep. Okay, so next week we'll continue with more measurements, including volume, ratio, and percentages.
oh my goodness,
All right.
ratio.
Sounds a bit hard.
Yeah, haven't done it in a long time myself, but I'll be reading up on it as well. So just to have a refresher course myself, and then we'll get into that. I'm sure it'll be quite easy once we start doing it. Okay, so before we start the assessment, are there any questions?
Yes. The formulas.
Yep.
Can we write them down? Can we have a quick refresher on what the 3 are, so
Yeah.
I remember?
You should have them in your book there in front of you. If
You can have my book.
Yep.
Oh,
Just
thank
want to
you.
look through that again. Yep.
If you want to read that to us again.
I'll do area. So area equals length times height. Okay.
And that's just
It's
really-
usually on a flat area, so it's your 2 lengths. So it's usually a square area.
Okay.
Yep. Someone else want to do perimeter?
Length by width by 2.
Yeah, length plus width. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, you're not
Yeah,
right.
not top, yeah.
That plus that.
So your length
that,
plus your
plus
width,
that.
and then multiply by 2. Yep.
I would have gotten that wrong.
And circumference, just quickly.
Pi or 3.1416 times by the diameter.
Diameter.
And
Yeah.
if you don't have the diameter, you can times the radius by 2.
That'll be a question on who wants to be in the email one name for around
Yeah.
100,000
And then
euros.
you'll know. Yeah.
I won't, because it's very, very long. It's not the answer, I'll tell you.
Yeah, but I might say 3.1 4, 1, 6 is what?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
And that's probably the only thing, that's the only thing I still remember about pi is basically those first numbers. There's actually probably 10 or 12 numbers. Alright, so there's going to be 2 assessments. The first one is theory, measurements and calculations. The second one is a practical assessment, being measuring and calculating. If you have any questions during the assessment, please come up and ask. Thank you. Right. I'll just actually won't hand them out because they're already on the table there, so if you just want to spread those out.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, we'll just get into it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.